whenever Peter is writing any letter, go and read it. He always assumes that all his writers have a Jewish background. So he always makes references to the Old Testament. But when you pick up Paul's writing, you will see that he will hardly make references to the New Testament, to the Old Testament, except in the book of Hebrews, which he wrote to the Hebrews. Are you here? And he will say, Paul will say this, unto me, my assignment was to the Gentiles, and my assignment is to the Jews. Now let me explain what I mean. Let me tell you the truth. Some of us, and I'm going to be as frank as I can with you, and if you can't hear what I'm saying, it will only take God that will make you hear it. I am called. I have a dual calling. I am called to the world, and I'm called into ministry. Not all ministers are like that. Some ministers and some musicians are called to do nothing, absolutely nothing, but minister to the body. That's their job, morning, noon, and night. But the body is called to minister to the world. Some of you have walked into our meetings where you see Muslims with hijab coming for our programs. That's how you know that I don't have a barrier when it comes to, but most of you, this is not your calling. This pulpit is not your calling. And it will never be your calling. You say why? Because you will reach more people in the world than I can reach on this pulpit. But it requires sacrifice. Paul, I was telling them during the 3-day fast. Many years ago, I was with the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God in a meeting of sorts. And somebody asked him, what's your favorite scripture? And he said, it's the scripture that Paul preached. And he said, I want to spend and be spent by God. You are here for God to use you for people. We have so sat down in a place where we want to use God for ourselves. And look at how far it has brought us. $30,000 people. And now I was telling, the 3-day fast was a revelation to me. God began to remind me of the woman who went and anointed Jesus' feet with oil. He began to remind me about the woman who went to Jesus and washed his feet with her tears and washed and cleaned it with her hair. And when they were criticizing him for that expensive perfume that was broken, Jesus said, everywhere the gospel is preached, this woman's name will be mentioned. And I thought to myself, what she did is seemingly insignificant, but she made a sacrifice to anoint Jesus. Some of us are called to anoint Jesus. But the rest of us, God has an assignment for you in the world. And when I say this to Christians, they always think, Mr. Erabo, that I'm talking about sacrifice. They think I'm talking about you giving offering, setting up a free clinic and be paying out of your pocket. No. The poor have products and services that are not getting to them, for which you can earn money for. The poor have needs. The people out there for whom, listen to me, there are people who are importing stuff. Listen to me. One of our boys, Femi is in the house. Is he around? Femi will tell you that the drug that they bring in from America, from Bill Gates Foundation, comes in at about how much? 50 naira? 5 naira. How much did they sell it in the market? 450. The drug comes into the country at 5 naira. And Nigerians hype up the price and sell it for 450. You could be the one who buys it at 5 naira and sells it at 6 naira and let people be blessed. If you think the top of Nigeria is corrupt, wait and see the bottom. Wait and see the bottom. I was with a particular guy, and because it's going to be on the air, I'm not going to call the name of the company. There's a book there's a book company in this city. One of our members bought shares in the company. And when they got there, they found out that pirates were, they said the books were 900 naira, for instance. Pirates were producing the book at 500 naira and selling it to the schools. Same book, but they will publish it at 500 naira. So they started arresting the pirates. So this other man who was a friend of mine, he said, no, you can't do that. Reduce your price to 500 naira. You will put them out of business. Because, you see, once you see the original and you see the pirated copy and the same price, which one will you choose? Am I making sense? He says, after you've put them out of business, start to raise your prices to 600, 700. Am I making sense? Until they will never be able to come back into the market. Many they want to come back to the market, reduce your price. Am I making sense? You beat them with commerce. Little did they know that it was members of the company itself who were printing the book with the company resources and selling it to the school. You think corruption is bad up there? It's worse here on the ground. I know you're going to say, how do I survive? That's the sacrifice. That's the sacrifice.